So in this session, we are going to discuss an element linear array with uniform spacing and non-uniform amplitude. So it means that there are n number of elements or antennas in an array and spacing between each element is same, but the amplitude is different. There is a non-uniform amplitude. So to solve this, we need to consider two cases. Case 1, when there will be even number of elements in the array, means number of antennas will be even, either 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and up to m. Now second case is when there is odd number of elements in the array, means 1, 3, 5, 7, and up to m plus 1. So we will discuss both cases simultaneously. So let us consider an array with even number of isotropic elements. Isotropic means which can radiate equally in all the directions. Elements 2m is positioned symmetrically along z axis. So this is we have shown here. So out of this, it starts from this a1, a2, a3 up to am, and on above side also a1, a2, a3 up to am. So these are the number of elements into that array. Now on the right hand side, we have shown odd number of elements. So it's starting from origin, that is 2a1, then a2, a3 up to am plus 1, and this am is the amplitude distribution. So when we were considering array with equal amplitude, uniform amplitude, then this was same for all the arrays. But now this is different. A1, A2, A3, AFR up to AM, these are different. So to solve the array factor for this, let the separation between different elements is D, and m elements are placed on each side of the origin in both the diagrams, either even number of elements or odd number of elements. Now we have to solve array factor in this case when there is non-uniform amplitude. So array factor, we know that is given by, first of all we will consider even elements. So array factor is given by a1 e raised to power plus j kd cos theta, j 1 by 2 kd cos theta, that is because of the first element. Now because of second element, it is a2, that is j 3 by 2 kd cos theta, and up to m elements there is e raised to power j 2m minus 1 by 2 kd cos theta. So that is the array factor contribution due to these elements which are above origin from 1 to up to m. Now plus a1 e raised to power minus j 1 by 2 kd cos theta, e raised to power minus j 3 by 2 kd cos theta, and plus up to am e raised to power minus j 2m minus 1 by 2 kd cos theta. So this is array factor in case of even elements because of the elements which are above origin and below origin. In the last lecture we have studied that the field at a particular distance from a array of element is equal to the field due to individual elements. So we have just added the array factor of each individual elements, and we get the array factor for even elements, that is AF2M. As a general expression, we can write it as AF2M is equal to twice summation n is equal to 1 to m an cos of 2n minus 1 by 2 kd cos theta. In normalized form, it can be written like this, where this an is the excitation coefficient of the array element. So when we will put the value of n, so a1, a2 up to am, these are the excitation coefficient which is different for each element, and that's why we are calling it as non-uniform amplitude. This is amplitude excitation coefficient. Now this one was for odd number of elements. So similarly, we can find out for even number of elements. So it will start from twice of a1, because here you can see that at the origin we have 2a1. So this factor will comes out to be 2a1 plus a2 e raised to power j kd cos theta plus a3 e raised to power twice of j kd cos theta up to e raised to power m plus 1 e raised to power j m kd cos theta. So that is above origin. So below origin there will be e raised to power minus j. So in generalized form we can write it as twice of an cos n minus 1 kd cos theta, where n is equal to 1 to m plus 1. And in normalized form we can write it as like this. Now normalized array factor can be rewritten like this. If we put u is equal to pi d by lambda cos theta, just to simplify it, we are replacing pi d by lambda cos theta with a factor, that is u, in these equations. Now here k is equal to, we know that 2 pi by lambda. Okay, so this pi d by lambda cos theta will be u. So this expression will become n is equal to 1 to m an cos 2n minus 1 u, and this expression for odd number of elements will become this. So this will be the change in array factor if number of elements, sorry, amplitude distribution of elements is odd. If you remember, we have calculated it same array factor when there was the number of element that was uniform. Okay, so this will be the difference in array factor. Now the main function or main process here is to find out this excitation coefficient value, because this is the only factor which differentiates it from your uniform amplitude. So to calculate this we have two methods. One method is binomial method. Second method is Dolf-Chebyshev method. So if I summarize you that in n element linear array which are uniformly spaced and non-uniform amplitude, then we have just wrote it into two ways. One is when there is even number of elements and when there is odd number of elements, and have written equations for array factor for both the categories, either with even element or with odd elements. That is what we have done till now. Now to draw its radiation pattern we need this array factor. So to calculate this array factor, we need to calculate these an. And there are two methods for it. One is binomial array method, second is Dolf-Chebyshev array method. So first of all, we will consider binomial array method. So I hope now you can have understanding that why we are doing binomial method. So binomial method is required just to calculate these excitation coefficients. So in binomial method, this equation A represents the array factor for a binomial array. So to find out the excitation coefficient of this binomial array, J.S. Stone suggested that the function 1 plus x raised to power m minus 1 can be written in a series by using binomial expansion that 1 plus x raised to power m minus 1 is equal to 1 plus my minus 1x plus m minus 1 m minus 2 by 2 factorial x square plus m minus 1 n minus 2 m minus 3 divided by 3 factorial x cube plus m minus 1 m minus 2 m minus 3 m minus 4 by 4 factorial into x raised to power 4 and so on. Now by using this equation, the position coefficient of series expansion for different values of m can be given like this. In this, if we put m is equal to 1, then this will be 0, this will be 0, whole other quantities will be 0, and we will get equal to 1. Like this. So the position coefficient can be written like this: m1 is equal to 1, m2 is equal to again 1 and 1, then m3 is equal to this 1 plus 1, that will become 2, we will write 2 here, and we'll extend this one on this side and we'll extend this one on this side. Then to write next factor, that is m is equal to 4, we will add this 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. On this side also 2 plus 1 is equal to 3, and we'll extend this one on this side, we'll extend this one on this side. Then for m is equal to 5, this 3 plus 3 is equal to 6, this 3 plus 1 is equal to 4, this 3 plus 1 is equal to 4, and we'll extend one on this side, we'll extend one of this side, and so on. So for different values of m, we have this triangle that is known as Pascal triangle, and this triangle is helpful to find out the values of a1, a2, a3 up to an. So if value of m represents the number of elements in array, then coefficient of expansion will be the relative amplitude of the elements. If here m is the number of array elements, then these coefficients of expansion will gives you the relative amplitude of the elements, that is a1, a2, a3 up to a4 up to an. So from this Pascal triangle we will find out the values of a's. Now how we will find out this? Like this. The amplitude of coefficients is given by, if it is a 2-element array, then 2m is equal to 2. This is a 2-element 2 antenna array. Then this a1 will be equal to 1. A1 will be equal to 1, because here A1 will be equal to 1. If there are 3 elements, then this 2m plus 1 will be equal to 3, and in that case we will consider 2m plus 1 will be equal to 3. In that case, because m is equal to 3, why m is equal to 3? Because we are considering 3 elements over here. So this m is equal to 3. So corresponding to this, the row is this 1, 2, 1. So in that case, your 2a1 is equal to 2, because why 2a1 is equal to 2? This is because the origin is at 2a1. So 2a1 is equal to 2. So from here your 2a1 is equal to 2. So a1 is equal to 1. And second element is a2. So a2 will be the side element of this one or this one, because on both sides it is symmetric. So this a1 is equal to 1 and a2 is also equal to 1. For either one element cannot be call it as an array. If there is one antenna only, then we can't call it as array. So otherwise, for one element your value will be 1. A1 will be equal to 1. So for two element, again your value is A1 is equal to 1. For 3 element, value is twice of, sorry, in one element it will be twice of A1 is equal to 1. A1 will be equal to 0.5. Okay, so here twice of A1 is equal to 2. So A1 is equal to 1. A2 is equal to 1 on both sides. Now if we consider even number of elements in array, m is equal to 4. So if m is equal to 4, over here even number of elements, so we will get a1 is equal to 3, any of these two. Okay, so why a1 is equal to 3? Because here if you will see this diagram, this one, then this is a1 and this is a1, origin is 0. So this a1 is equal to 3, a1 is equal to 3, a2 is equal to 1 and a2 is equal to 1. So from here this a1 is equal to 3 and a1 is equal to 3, a2 is equal to 1 and a2 is equal to 1. So if I ask you that what will be it for m is equal to 5, then we can simply say that for m equal to 5, 2a1 is equal to 3, 6. So a1 is equal to 3, a2 is equal to 4, a2 is equal to 4, a3 equal to 1. So this one 2a1 is equal to 6, a1 is equal to 3, a2 is equal to 4, a3 equal to 4. So if I tell you simply that you will first see whether number of elements are even or odd. So number of elements are even in this case. So if number of elements are even, then go to the row that is parallel to this, that is 1 and 1, and put these two 1 and 1 in this diagram. So from this diagram, put this is 1, this is 1. So a1 is equal to 1 and a1 is equal to 1. Now if number of elements are odd, then we will put the corresponding coefficients into this diagram, and in this diagram the center is 2a1, so center value will be equated with 2a1. Otherwise, one side will be equated with this, other side will be equated with this. So this is called as Pascal triangle. So from this Pascal triangle we can easily find out the values of a's, a1, a2 up to an, and that is the only thing required in case of binomial arrays. So from the design point of view or from the numerical point of view, the things which are asked in this are, one is examiner may ask you to find out the values of a's, values of this amplitude excitation coefficients. He may give you that design a broadside binomial array with 10 elements which are equally spaced by lambda by 2, and finally find out the half power beamwidth and directivity. Okay, so in that case, you know, m is equal to 10. So m is equal to 10 means you have to first write down this 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So at the value of m is equal to 10, you will see that this is even number of elements. So there will be a row of elements over here. So center two elements will represent your a1 value. Then on left hand side or on the right hand side, you will get a2, a3, a4 up to an values. So that is the, so put that values into this array factor. Okay, because you already have d is equal to lambda by 2, so this lambda will be cancelled out. You will put this value over here, n is equal to 10. Okay, and a1, a2 up to a10 you have already find out in this. So you will put it that into this equation and will calculate array factor. Second, you will calculate the half power beamwidth is equal to 1.06 divided by n minus 1, or 1.06 divided by twice of L by lambda, where L is the length of array and lambda is the wavelength. So by using this equation we can find out it. Second, directivity. We can find out directivity either by using this formula, 2 divided by 0 to pi cos pi by 2 cos theta raised to power 2 n minus 1 sin theta d theta, or there is direct formula 1.77 1 plus 2L by lambda. So in this way we can design a binomial array by using these equation 1 and 2 and calculate its half power bandwidth and directivity. So let me take a numerical for it. So let elements in binomial array is equal to 10. Spacing between the elements is lambda by 2. So I have already told you that what we have to do. So we will write it as m1, m2 up to m10. Then your a1 will be equal to 126, a2 84, a3 36, a4 9, a5 1. Okay, and because it is symmetric on both sides, so 5 elements are this one, 5 elements are this one, so total 10 elements. So from the above triangle we get a1 is equal to 126, a2 is equal to 84, a3 is equal to 36, a4 is equal to 9, a5 is equal to 1. So this is not practical because the difference between A1 element, amplitude excitation of A1 element and A5 element is there is a huge gap in both of these. Okay, so from this we can observe that the relative amplitude coefficient of end element is 1 while it is 126 for the center element. So practically it is difficult to maintain such high amplitude variation among the elements. So it would be very inefficient antenna system. Now if you want to calculate its half power beamwidth and directivity, then simply n is equal to 10, length, total number of elements are 10. So half power beamwidth is 1.06 by 10 minus 1. It is 0.353 radians or 20.23 degrees. And similarly, we can calculate directivity, that is 7.48 dB. So when someone asks you to design a binomial array, then he is asking you to find out the values of different amplitude excitation coefficients along with its directivity and half power beamwidth. And if we ask beamwidth between first null, then it is divided by 2. So what are the disadvantages of binomial array? Half power beamwidth increases and and has low directivity. And for a design of uh, large array, large amplitude ratio is required in this. So yes, I hope you have got the understanding of this binomial array. Now why it is called binomial array? This is called binomial array because it is using binomial expansion, this one. Since coefficients are determined from a binomial series expansion, so this array is known as binomial array. So you can just pause this video at each and every step and can go through the whole process of designing the binomial array. So now let me come to the another technique to find out these excitation coefficients, that is Dolf-Chebyshev array. So this is another method for array design given by Dolf. So this method is a compromise between binomial and uniform array. Now because we know that if there is a trade-off between half power beamwidth and the side lobe. If half power beamwidth will decrease, then side lobe will increase and vice versa. So Dolf-Chebyshev array produces narrower beamwidth for a given side lobe level and vice versa. Either your side lobe level will be given and it will produce a beamwidth, or beamwidth will be given, it will produce a side lobe level. So Dolf-Chebyshev array covers, one is, the first part is to find out the Chebyshev polynomial and array factor. Now second part is to design the array. Now after designing the array, we will calculate beamwidth and directivity. Array design means you, and finally design of Dolf-Chebyshev array means to find out these A1, A2 up to AN. So there is a step-by-step procedure for Dolf-Chebyshev array. Let me explain you that. So in this, it starts from Chebyshev polynomial. Okay, you just remember that what we are going to do in this. Our main aim is to calculate A1, A2 up to AN. Okay, so that we can find out the array factor. So generalized expression for Chebyshev polynomial is Tmx is equal to cos of m cos inverse x for x is less than plus minus 1, means x will lie between minus 1 to 1. Now second, if x is greater than 1 and greater than minus 1, then Tmx will be equal to cos m cos inverse x. Now I will tell you that what is this x and what is this m. M is the number of elements. So again, just like a binomial array, let me put different values of m starting from m is equal to 0. So T0x will be equal to cos of 0 into cos inverse x. So cos, this will be 0 multiplied by anything is 0. So T naught x is equal to 1. Now m is equal to 1. So T1x is equal to 1 multiplied by cos inverse x. So let cos inverse x is equal to delta. So from here x is equal to cos of delta and x is equal to delta is equal to xi by 2. So it is equal to cos xi by 2. So here T1x is equal to cos 1 into delta, and from here cos delta is equal to x. So T1x is equal to x. So similarly we will find out T2x, that is 2x square minus 1, then T3x, that is 4x cube minus 3x, and so on. We will find out these values of m is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now all these equations from T0x to this T9x, these are called as Chebyshev polynomial. Okay, these equations are called as Chebyshev polynomial, and these equations are helpful in finding out the values of a1, a2, a3 up to an. So we have written it Tmx is equal to cos m cos inverse x, or Tmx is equal to cos of m xi by 2. So from here, let us understand Chebyshev polynomial for two cases. One is for odd number of elements and another is for even number of elements. So I told you that I will tell you what is x and what is m. So this is the Chebyshev polynomial when m is even. So here this x is from this 0 point to a point over here in space at a distance r, that value is x naught, and this is the graph for this Tmx. Now this has been made from these equations, from T0x to Tnx. So when your m is even, so m is even means T0x, T2x, T4x, T6x, and T8x, then this distribution will be like this. I will tell you what it represents. Now when m is equal to odd, in that case your distribution is like this. Your Tmx Chebyshev polynomial is like this. Now, what it represents? It represents that all the polynomial in the range -1 to 1 oscillate between -1 to 1 of value m. So when it is from -1 to 1, either in this case or in this case, -1 to 1, then it oscillates between m is equal to -1 to 1. Its value is between -1 to 1. So in these, if you put x, if you put any value of x between -1 to 1, then your tmx will have a value between -1 to 1, because along this side we are representing tmx for different values of m. Okay, so this is m is equal to -1, this is m is equal to +1, this is m is equal to 0, and along this side and this side we have taken different values corresponding to different values of x. So first property says that if x is equal to -1 to 1, then it will oscillate between -1 to 1 for different values of m, either in odd or in even. Now second property, if x is less than 1, then the mth order polynomial crosses the axis m times. So if x is less than 1, then this mth order polynomial crosses it m times. Property third, if x is greater than 1, the polynomial go on increasing without limit at the rate polynomial to x raised to power m. So if x is greater than 1 over here, then it will keep on going on both sides, in both the cases. And from the diagram, it can be seen that if x is varied from a point A to x naught, then tmx has the following things. One is many small side lobes in the range x is less than 1. One major lobe axis arise in the range x is greater than 1. Secondary minor lobes of same amplitude of unity. It means that if you see it from this point A to this point up to this point, if you observe it from here to here, then you get a major lobe, different side lobes. In this also, one major lobe and many minor lobes. Now how we can see it? If we map it on a lobe diagram, on a radiation pattern. Now the roots of this polynomial corresponds to null and null will occur at cos of m delta equal to 0. So if we put cos of m delta equal to 0, then we can find out this value of delta, that is equal to 2k minus 1 pi by 2m, where k can have any value from 1 to n. So if we put this cos of m delta is equal to 0, cos of m delta equal to 0, then we can find out value of delta, that is this one, So from here, now this was the first part to find out a Chebyshev polynomial. Now second part is Dolf-Chebyshev method of obtaining optimum pattern using Chebyshev polynomial. Now second is to obtain a optimum pattern. Now this is very important. This has been there in the examinations, in previous maximum examinations this has been covered. To find out the optimum pattern at which your beam width will be minimum and directivity will be maximum. So consider a broadside array with even and odd number of isotropic elements fed in phase having equal distance d and amplitude a0 a1 up to an, and they are propagating in a direction that is perpendicular to the array. Now that has been shown over here. Now these are the even number of elements: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I have taken it I think wrong. This is, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So this is from here to here. This one is extra. Okay, not consider it. So on left hand side we have considered a broadside array with even elements. On right hand side we have considered a broadside array with odd elements. And direction of propagation is perpendicular to these arrays, means that is direction theta. So for step 2 is to calculate the electric field at a far distance. So for even number of elements, that is ETE is equal to twice A naught cos of xi by 2 plus 2a1 cos of 3 by 2 xi by 2 plus up to so on up to 2ak cos of ne. Ne means this is even. N is the number of sources. Over here it is 10. So ne minus 1 by 2 xi. So here ne is 2, 4, 6 up to 2k plus 1. And ne minus 1 is equal to this 2k plus 1 minus 1, or it is equal to 2k minus 1, or from here ne minus 1 by 2 is equal to 2k minus 1 by 2. Just to put this in terms of k. So putting this value into this, we get electric field or field at a distance due to even number of sources is equal to k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 ak cos 2k plus 1 by 2 into xi, or where n is equal to ne by 2. So similarly, we can find out it for odd number of elements. It should be odd here, odd number of elements. So it will be equal to ETO 2A0. 2A0 means this factor, this one. 2A0 plus 2A1 cos xi plus 2A2 cos 2 xi up to 2AK cos NO minus 1 by 2 xi, where N naught is 135 up to 2K plus 1. So over here N naught minus 1 by 2 is equal to K. So ETO is equal to twice of writing this in a general form, AK cos N naught minus 1 by 2 into xi. So now we have field due to even elements and odd elements. So from these two equations, the coefficient of equation A and B will be uniquely found in order to have a pattern of minimum beam width for a specified side lobe level. Okay, so over here we will equate now the array polynomial coefficients of array polynomial and Chebyshev polynomial to find out the values of a's. So now just see the design procedure for this. So this is the key. Once we equate these array polynomials with the Chebyshev polynomials, then we can get the optimum design or optimum pattern. So if the array polynomial of degree ne minus 1 or n naught minus 1 is equated to the Chebyshev polynomial of like degree, and similar with the and similarly the coefficients of array polynomial are equated with the coefficient of Chebyshev polynomial, then amplitude distribution is given by these coefficients of Chebyshev distribution, and field pattern at a array corresponds to the Chebyshev polynomial of degree m is equal to n minus 1. So this is the design procedure step by step. So in the first step, the ratio of main lobe to the side lobe is calculated, that we call it as R. R is main lobe maximum divided by side lobe minimum. Or if it is given to you, then from here side lobe level below main lobe maximum is equal to 20 log 10 R. So here maximum time this will be given to you. Either it will be 19 dB, 20 dB, 26 dB. So we will calculate R from this. Now step 2 will be to select the Chebyshev polynomial of the same degree as array polynomial. Now we know that we have two polynomials. One is for even, another for odd. So you will be having either even number of elements or odd number of elements. So you will select one equation out of these two. If m is the degree of Chebyshev polynomial, then degree of array polynomial will be n minus 1, because m is equal to n minus 1. And here n is the number of sources. So for example, we have m is equal to 4. So we will correspond it to t4 minus 1x, t3x, and we'll apply that Chebyshev polynomial over there. I will explain you that how we calculate it in the numerical. So just like this is m is 4, there are 4 elements, then it will corresponds to t n minus 1 x naught. Now we will equate these t n minus 1 x naught equal to r, and we'll find out the value of x naught from here. Alternatively, we can find out the value of x naught by using this 1 by 2 r plus square root of r square minus 1 raised to power 1 by 2 plus r minus r square minus 1 raised to power 1 by m. And this formula is used when degree of Chebyshev polynomial is too high, because then it will take much time to solve this equation. Now in this step 3, we will calculate ET by changing the scale, because now here ET is in the form of this x. So we will apply change of scale by putting z is equal to x by x naught. So from here z will be equal to cos of xi by 2 or cos of delta. So we will solve these two polynomials in terms of z. So if it is even number of elements, then it will be equal to a naught z plus a1 4z cube minus 3z plus a2 16z5 up to so on. If it is odd number of elements, then a naught plus a1 2z square minus 1. These will be fixed. These equations will be fixed. These are standard equations. So equating et or et naught or et with tn minus 1 x and calculate a1 a2 up to an, which gives Dolf-Chebyshev optimum amplitude distribution for specified side lobe level. Because side lobe level was assigned to you, side lobe level below main lobe maximum, this was assigned to you. So we have calculated Chebyshev optimum amplitude distribution for specified side lobe level. So next part is to calculate beam width between first null. So formula for this will be equal to 2 sin inverse lambda by pi d cos inverse 1 by x naught cos pi by m minus 1. Now all nulls are within range x is less than 1, which we have seen in properties also, and these are zeros or roots. These nulls are basically zeros or roots of the Chebyshev polynomial within this range. Now theta null will be equal to this, because it is theta null is equal to beam width between first null divided by 2. So from here we can find out half power beam width. Half power beam width is twice the semi half power beam width angle. So half power beam width angle is equal to sine inverse lambda by beta d cos inverse this factor. So twice of this is half power beam width. So you have to remember these formulas. So minor lobe maxima, we can calculate it like this: sine inverse lambda by beta d cos inverse 1 by x naught cos of k pi by m minus 1, where this theta nm is angle at which null maxima occurs. So this is all about different formulas. So let me summarize it. In step 1, we will calculate Chebyshev polynomial. For this, then we will find out electric field for even number of elements by using this, or odd number of elements by using this. Then third step is to design the Chebyshev array. For design, we have to first calculate R. Then we have to select the Chebyshev polynomial of same degree as array polynomial, and we have to solve it for x naught, or alternatively we can use the value of r to find out x naught over here. Third is choose array polynomial either from ETE or ETO depending upon your number of elements are odd or even. Step 4, equate tn minus 1 x with ET and calculate coefficients and take ratio of their relative amplitudes by using this equation. The next step is calculate beam width between first null by using this formula. Then calculate half power beam width by using this formula, and calculate minor lobe maxima by using this formula. Now, let me take a numerical so that you can understand that how it is going to come in the examination. So, numerical is design a 4-element broadside array which has a optimum pattern for a side lobe level that is 19.1 dB down the main lobe maxima. The spacing between elements is lambda by 2. So this type of numerical has been there in previous year examination. Just difference was here it was 10 element and it was 26 dB. While in other examination this has been 20 dB and this has been 7 elements. But procedure will be same. So in step 1, this side lobe level that is 19.1 dB down the main lobe maxima, we will calculate R from this because this 19.1 is 20 log 10 R, so R is equal to this one. Step 2 is to calculate the value of x naught by using Chebyshev polynomial. Now because here n is equal to 4, number of elements is 4, so degree of Chebyshev polynomial will be n minus 1. So that is 3. So we will take T3 x naught equal to R. So corresponding to T3x, let me check that what is equation corresponding to T3x. So this is T3x, 4x cube minus 3x. Okay, or you just need to remember this Tmx is equal to cos m cos inverse x. So you can easily find out this if you do not remember. So 4x cube minus 3x. So putting it 4x naught cube minus 3x naught, it is equal to equating with r. R we have already calculated, that is 9. So from here x naught is 1.5. So it means that in step 3 we have 4 elements which are lambda by 2 spaced and their amplitude variation is a naught, a naught, a1, a1. So because it is even number of elements, so ET4 is equal to a naught z plus a1 4z cube minus 3z. So from where we have got this? We have got this from this. From this. And we have duly written it over here. This one. A naught z plus a1 4z cube minus 3z plus a2 16z 5 and so on. We have just solved it for this. So it is a naught z plus a1 4z cube minus 3z. So in step 4, we will equate it ET4 Chebyshev polynomial with the array polynomial. So equating ET4 is equal to T3x. So this is your ET4 and this is your T3x. So equating both and changing the scale, that is z is equal to x by x naught, we get this. Putting z is equal to x by x naught, we get this. Equating the likewise terms like this. Here x by a naught x by x naught plus a1 4x by x naught cube minus 3x by x naught is equal to 4x cube 3x. So from here, this a naught into x by x naught plus a1 for x by x naught cube minus 3x by x naught, it is equal to this one. So we will take this common, that x by x naught. So it will become a naught minus 3a1 multiplied by x naught, or we can write it as a naught plus minus 3a1 by x naught multiplied by x. Now it is equal to comparing the coefficients of x on both sides. So this will be equal to minus 3. Okay, and taking this x naught on other side, we get a naught minus 3a1 is equal to minus 3 multiplied by x naught. Now x naught is 1.5, so this will become minus 4.5. Okay, and similarly equating the factors of x cube, we get 4a1 by x naught cube, it is equal to 4. So 4a1 multiplied by 4a1 is equal to 4 multiplied by x naught cube. So x naught cube, putting value of x naught cube from here, we get a1 is equal to 3.375 and a naught is equal to 5.625. So this is the current amplitude distribution, this a1, a naught, a naught and a1. So this is a1, a naught, a naught, a1. So by taking relative amplitudes, we get, relative amplitude means this one with this one and this one with this one. So a1 by a1 is 3.375 divided by 3.375 is equal to 1, and a naught by a1 is 5.625 divided by 3.375, that is 1.66. So we can write it as its relative amplitude are 1:1.66, double ratio 1.66 ratio 1. Current amplitude ratio is 3.375 ratio 5.625, and on another side too 5.625 ratio 3.375. Now this is how numericals are asked in the examination. Now from the values of these A's, we can form the array factor easily. So array factor can be formed by using this. So we can put the values of these A's, d is equal to lambda by 2, and we can form a array factor for even or for odd. And these all are a part of an element linear array with uniform spacing and non-uniform amplitude. I hope you have understood this topic. If I summarize it, that we have a general expression for array factor, but the main part is to calculate the coefficients. The coefficient means excitation coefficients. So to calculate excitation coefficients, there are two methods. One is binomial array, in which we make Pascal triangle, and another is Dolf-Chebyshev array, in which we use Chebyshev polynomial. So there is a standard procedure in binomial arrays and Dolf-Chebyshev array. Now apart from this, the half power beamwidth between first null, minor lobe, maxima and directivity, these are some of the parameters which we should know that how to calculate.